Yeah. Right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Library Trustees meeting. Today is Thursday, December 11th. It is 7 p.m. Sam, do we have any correspondence?
We do not.
Anyone for public comment? Has everyone had a chance to look through the meetings from November 13th? Okay.
There's one Ms. David Spanicle.
And then Mr. Donovan.
I thought
I've been noticed.
that's okay.
Betty Bag, David.
David, where is that?
It's early.
Sometimes that happens when you're changing.
It's toward the bottom of the first page.
Oh, I see it.
That's exactly where the,
Mr. Donovan.
Mr. Donovan.
yeah, so okay.
We just traded. It's okay.
So that has been edited on the document.
Okay.
I could have lived with it.
All right. If we are all good with it, does anyone have a motion?
I move to approve the minutes of the November 13th, 2025 meeting as amended.
I second.
All in favor?
And I'll make sure that on my version here, that it's made, you click copy and paste, so I'll make sure.
Oh, okay, yeah. To approve the minutes. So it's yeah, okay.
Yeah. The new ones.
All right. Treasurer's report.
All right, so MMDT has $43,485.12. The gift fund has $5,672.08. State aid has $33,237.40. Building gift has $37,000. MDLC has $684. Lead has $116,895, and the month ending statement value was $1,860,793.10. Stable.
Thank you.
I want to talk about the gift fund.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So a couple of weeks ago, Susan goes to pay something out of the gift fund and it tells her no. So it's like there should be plenty of money in there. So I contact finance department. Michelle Reynolds responds. She's the town accountant. And she says that basically Munis, so this is Munis, by the way, Munis has been acting weird when it comes to gift funds. They figured it out with the fire department because it's a couple of days before I contacted her, the fire department had an issue. So they figured out that for some reason Munis does not like donations, and it even adds money. It's not like calculating it correctly for this type of fund, because these are the type of funds that carry over. So when it carries over, it's giving us a little bump, apparently. And then add to that, so she went in, so after the thing with the fire department happened, she went in and looked at all the town department gift funds and didn't tell me and changed it. And so then when Susan went to go pay something, it didn't work because there are also multiple sub accounts. So one of the other accounts had money, but the sub account she was trying to take money out of was zeroed out. So yeah, so I talked to Michelle. We also figured out I couldn't see this. This is what I couldn't see. This is so if I scroll up, this is basically the cash account. So this is how much money we have in there in gift. So I went through, I looked at all of the transactions and they look okay. So I don't think anything nefarious happened. But yeah, so basically what she told me is pay attention to it because it might just like change things on us for some reason. I don't know why. This is the only type of account it seems to do that with. And yeah, so it significantly decreased how much we have, or how much I guess we always had. And part of that reason is, so the trustees used to actually put out a call for donations for the gift funds. But then when the new building was getting started, we kind of switched to the building project and we never really kept up the gift fund. So that's why it's been dwindling so much so fast. So yeah, so that's what it's at now. Sorry, Michelle apologizes too. But yeah, this is what it should be. And now I'm just gonna have to keep extra eye on it and make sure that it's right. Basically, moving forward.
So how do you plan to do that? Like, what's
Keep
your
a
process?
keep a my own spreadsheet basically, and every time I've been trying not to spend money out of it, especially since there's a lot less of it than I thought. So when I do, it should be easy to know what I'm spending out of it. Part of the problem is I'm also going to tell Susan that whenever we get a donation, to let me know as well, so that I know how much should be going into it. Yeah, the thing about this is it's not like my checking account. If I spend money, it's out the same day or at least the day after. With the town, it takes weeks for things to get paid. So yeah, so like maybe once a month I'll go in and kind of check it, basically.
What were we spending out of the gift account generally?
Generally, it was things like so in the past we spent office supply money out of that, like when we spend what the town gives us, we spend it on that. Miscellaneous things like random things that don't really fall into the regular, accounts. Sometimes we would in the past we would spend money out of that account for books. If we had spent everything the town and the trustees gave us, then we would go to gift. Yeah, it varies.
You mentioned office supplies. I know years ago, like you sometimes asked people if they could donate copy paper. Is that something you might do again?
No, we're pretty good with well, that's later. And I'm going to talk about the budget change that's coming up. But we usually used donated paper for like scratch paper.
Oh, okay.
Because we find people like to make copies with other stuff on the other side.
So the gift fund was suspended during the building.
Mhm.
Like the request for
Right.
donations was suspended and we didn't reestablish that as
Mhm.
board. Is that something that
I mean,
we as
yeah,
a board should consider?
it would be helpful now that it's been a few years since we've been asking people.
Yeah, I mean, the building is set for
Yeah.
donations coming in. We're gonna finalize the donor wall now that it's done, but
Yeah, it would be helpful. In the past, like we used to get like huge donations from banks, like at the beginning of the year. That's kind of come down a little bit as the financial situation in the world has changed.
yeah.
Yeah, but we used to get like a 10,000 donation here. We got like a $2,000 donation the other day. Because this was actually 3,000 a couple days ago, couple weeks ago. So yeah.
We could talk about that. Maybe we can add it to next time's agenda to think about fundraising
Yeah.
again. I mean, I think we should think about what that number should be kept in.
Yeah. I did there's a thing on the website that, because there's a donate button on the library website. And so I went there and I realized I was still talking about the old building.
Yeah.
It still had our old address. It still had like everything that had to do with the old building was still there. So I asked them to change it. So that's on there. But in the past, trustees would send out an actual mailer.
Yeah. I vaguely recall this. Pre my board, but yeah.
There's also the gift agreement, which I noted a while ago needs to be updated. So, but it's not a policy, so I don't know. We'd have to look at that. Someone needs to look at that at some point. Because it mentions the funds for the building, but it's just, if someone makes a donation, it's the way it's recognized and things like that, but that does need to be updated because it was last updated in 2022.
It sounds like it's on a rotation in the next year.
It's not a policy.
It's not a policy.
That sounds like that might be more, but if it's a trustee.
It's on the policy list, but
Yeah.
I noted that it's not a policy.
Yeah, it was created when we were doing the building. I think Mark made it. Maybe Mark and Jonathan. Yeah.
So was that something you could take a look at?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
It could be policy, right?
I was gonna say, I thought there was a gift policy.
There is,
It's
but that's
that.
the agreement is different.
Oh,
Isn't
it's
it?
gift.
Yeah, that was the thing that was made for the project.
We're talking the agreement.
There's finances and gift policy, and then this is called the gift agreement, building fund and naming rights.
Yeah, that is very much for the build of this building, so I'm not sure it's.
Yeah, we
It
might
might even
need
be
it.
scrapped at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like the room names.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, okay. So we don't need to.
I think if we're looking at the gift, there is a policy, the financial.
There is a
gift
policy.
We should look at that to make
Yeah.
sure that doesn't need updating. In conjunction with any discussions we have about.
The
how
gift
to
policy was
use the
Updated
donations.
January of 2025.
So
Yeah, I was
let's
gonna
hear.
say, so, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably fine. I think
Mhm.
the thing that we haven't practiced or flexed our muscles in is the seeking of donations directly as trustees outside of the building project.
Yeah.
That's
So we
a
shouldn't create anything until we've had that conversation.
correct. I think we need to come up with a strategy and an amount we think we should be trying to raise it. Or request to raise. Is it passive, like we send something out and we get as much as we get back, or do we apply for some of these bank grants and things like that?
Yeah, you can make a goal and say, help us reach.
It's sounding like the building project, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does it interact with money that the friends raise?
That, I think that is another step of this discussion we should talk about, because we don't, I know they get some grants and they get some other things, so we don't want to
Well, you don't want to.
double dip or cause problems where they're not getting funds
It
to.
is confusing when people don't know what the different things are.
And that is actually one of the problems we ran into, is that when we were fundraising for the building, there was such a push for fundraise for the building that friends had to dip in their donations, and the gift fund was not, it was abandoned essentially. The focus became the building. And definitely donors don't quite understand the difference between friends and the library. Yeah. So I think this discussion about reopening, asking for gifts, I think is a broader discussion about how to do it well, so that we don't confuse patrons
Coordinating
And-
and
And
friends.
compete.
also.
Yeah.
Energy should be.
Yeah.
And how much energy should the trustees put into it, given the trust funds that we currently maintain? So lots of questions.
Right now, I'm not like,
I mean, it's not like you need it
it's not like I'm
tomorrow.
needed it tomorrow, right?
However, I think given the budget discussion we're about to have, I think
Yeah.
it's something we should have on our radar.
Yeah.
No, so don't apologize. Any more thoughts, questions about the treasurer's report we got on? Okay. I just want to be mindful of Stephanie's time, and also we, Katrina and I talked about this briefly. If we could do a bit of new business, okay, which is that, we want to talk about whether or not this time of having the meeting at 7 p.m. versus 6:30 p.m. Continues to be okay for people, generally speaking, or would people prefer to have it at 6:30? It's just a half an hour difference, but it can make a big difference for people who have to pick up their kids or the other way around.
Gotta leave it early. So-
Yeah, this wasn't about the start time, this time, and once I adjusted to it, it was like, they're kind of out of the page of what I have.
Yeah.
Whatever, so it was okay.
Okay, so generally,
If this is good for everybody, I'm happy to keep it, if not, it's already worked as well too, it was,
okay.
they
Just like-
usually have a parent at home with them, but not one that is.
Does
Pizza, okay, but it's fine.
anyone else have an opinion? Just, that's for halfway through the year and made a decision about it 6 months ago. Anyone else have an opinion about it moving to 6:30 versus staying where it is?
I mean, I think I was probably one of the holdups, because last year this was 6:30 was hard, but I think I having to drive her in my house now, which really takes an extra driver, helps a lot, as you might imagine. So I'm happy to move forward, and that would get Sam and Mike out of here earlier too.
Does 6:30 work for people doing 6:30?
I would actually prefer 6:30.
Me too.
I don't, that's just my personal opinion. I don't have anyone.
I prefer
at home to
6:30.
Last year it was like I was running, and it was.
Sounds like a lot of people are cool with 6:30 / preferable. You feel good about, okay. Shall we do a quick vote on that? And then we'll get back to the regular agenda. I just want to do that before you left. Yeah.
I move to hold our trustee meetings for the remainder of this until May 2026, to start at 6:30.
All in favor? Aye. Great.
Same dates.
Same dates, yeah. Okay, thanks. Report.
Yes.
Sorry.
Oh, good.
So, I just don't, I stopped them. She's very good at saying, it's my favorite. She said.
It's my favorite. Like that.
Sorry.
It's fine.
The Friends met on November 19th. Their membership rose to 177 members, 16 new ones since October. And I think book sale was one of the places where they get a fresh batch. The treasurer report said that the book sale final had yielded 2,700 and change, and another 100 in the cookies donation, 107, and then book sale room had 1,113.
Just in the month?
Yeah,
Wow.
In October?
yeah. And
Makes sense.
this wasn't in that meeting, but I can tell you that at the holiday bazaar on December 6th, they got 1,067 plus Venmo. They surpassed 12 for their holiday bazaar.
That's great.
Amount. So that's sort of where the Friends Treasury stuff on the plus side was going. They voted to approve moving 7,225 to Museum Pass. And they voted to approve moving 5,000 to programming support. So that's the money outgoing from them.
Thank you, friends.
They organized the tree hunt thing, and it's just a short way down the trail and you go down toward the corner. It looks nice, and they had laminated book
Pages.
pictures of book covers with, and the themes of the titles of the books have to do with friends. Mix of holiday and friends. In their meeting in November, they organized for the holiday bazaar, which turned out to be a huge logistical puzzle. I don't know how they do it. They managed to do it. They talked about Santa letters and decided they might skip this year. And they continued to plan the mini golf event in March. And their piece of business to bring to trustees is to ask for a trustee vote to authorize them to apply for a liquor license for the
Which we have under new
mini
business
golf.
tonight. So,
Right.
yeah.
So that was the
Yeah. Cool.
one piece of business that they needed me to bring to you. And
What's the date for meeting? Well, do you have it right there?
in the previous meeting minutes, which is something like March.
2021.
2021, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
That's it.
Did they get the new members? Did they mention how they got the new members? Like how they acquired 16 new ones?
So they encourage people when they're coming to the book sale to join.
Yeah.
And they got renewal checks for 2026 from some of their current members. So they were trying not to count them as new. They could do the same.
Sure. Yeah.
So they actually got more.
Yeah. That's great. Well, that's much gratitude to Friends for helping to contribute to museum passes and to the program. Yeah. Wonderful.
Do a great job.
Any questions about the Friends report?
And they're not going to meet this month, so their next meeting is in January.
Building updates. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Building updates.
Sure. So the door broke again.
How'd that happen this time?
I don't know. A patron just walked out the door and it fell. Yeah, the arm, like they were going out the door and the arm just broke off, cleaned right off. So
They were not hurt.
they were not hurt. They were fine. Yeah, so then I think it was Amy called me and was like, Sam, the door broke. So then I called Eric. Eric came over. He tried to fix it, but there's no way he can't weld it or anything. So he reached out to, so the senior center, their door also broke last week. So but Eric made a new friend with a new company. And so we're not going to use the company Dormer that fixed it the last, I don't know, 5 million times that it's broken. They charge like $10,000, but this new group is going to charge us $4,645.75. I talked to Eric about whether or not there's a warranty. He said there's a 1-year warranty on it. I asked him if it can come out of his budget. He said that he's already spent 75% of his budget. And so he's asking if we will cover it.
In the fiscal year that ends in the end of June.
Right.
Right, okay.
So last trustee meeting, Katrina and I had spoken about the building gift fund, how it never really changes. So I reached out to Robin in the finance department and asked her, can we move this? What can we do with this?
More expensive.
Right. So yeah, there's no more expenses coming out of it. So she said, because it's a gift fund, we can't move the money, we can't change it, but we can use it for the building. So I'm recommending we use the money for this from that account. Double check, there is 37,000.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, so any questions about the drawer?
No.
No. All right. So this is the device that goes behind the TVs. They're the things that receive the information from my computer so that it can produce the slides on the TV. So when Littleton had its power outage like a week ago, I don't know if
Yes.
you guys have
Nope.
yeah.
Was it ours? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it shorted out. It's the only one that shorted out. There are 2 of them. Each TV has one. So this costs $450. So I already bought one. That's why it's working. But I figured we could take this out of the building account as well. So altogether, that comes out to $5,095.75 that I would like to take out building gift. I don't know. Yeah, and 75 cents.
Resident something from the building from before, is that ours to vote on, or it's because it's not trustee money?
Building gift.
Building gift. I think technically I can just take it out
Shall we vote just to be sure?
if you want.
Just for validation.
Yeah.
Validation. If you want.
Support you emotionally.
Before we go to that, does anyone have any questions about that?
I do think we might need to go back to Michelle to confirm that we are the board who can approve expenditures from the gift, but I think because it's the building gift, I think trustees do.
Yeah, you have in the past.
Yeah.
Because she always asks in the
Why it's sitting.
yeah, so like whenever there has been a bill, she's been like, we want to pay this out of that.
I mean, at some point they want to pay that.
Yeah.
Down.
And with the new receiver, I mean, they're the same type. Is there any kind of protection if there's another power outage?
So I asked IT about that. So it's not powered by a cord, it's powered by the Ethernet. So there are Ethernet surge protectors. And I asked Tom in IT, and he said that it rarely happens. So I might get one anyway. It's like $50 on Amazon. So I might just get one or two. Since we have 2 of them. But yeah, there is a surge protector for it. But sure. So add an extra $100. So $5,195.75.
All right.
Any question? Stupid question. What is that called again?
HD receiver.
HD receiver.
Yeah, it actually has a much longer name, but that's
fine.
That's it.
I call the TV box.
TV thing, you should know it up.
All right, so I move the fund purchase of the HD receiver and repair of front door from the building gift fund.
And Ethernet.
Right, surge protector.
Up to $5,200.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. I was gonna do that. Good enough.
I second that.
Oh, baby.
Eric thinks he was.
At one point we should put our head. So you.
Yeah, that door might need to just be replaced.
We started talking about the door.
Well, and the gate, it's the door and the gate.
And the
door
gate, yeah.
But I feel like we should maybe put our head around number of repairs we're making in a year and then how much it would get.
Yeah, I'm looking at in the building repair maintenance log, there's something for pretty much every month since January for the door, yeah,
Or a door or a gate or both.
just the door.
Yeah, we should talk to Eric about what the strategy should be.
Alright. Assistant director's report, what?
So this morning I attended a MPLC Tech Services user group. And then I realized, since I wasn't at the last meeting, I also attended one on October 8th. So I was just looking over the minutes of that to refresh myself, and it's actually amazingly similar about what we talked about today. And it basically revolves around two things. This is the new ILS search and Baker Taylor folding. Aside from the sort of nuts and bolts stuff of technical services. And let's see, I feel like we switched over to Barnes and Noble. We've had a pretty good flow of folks coming in. So that's taking up most of Masco's time. And I think in the meantime, she's still focusing on finishing up the nonfiction audiobooks, and then we will move on to redoing the large prints after that.
All right, let's see. So much to talk about. We received confirmation from MBLC that we've been certified for another year, and they sent the first half of our state aid payment, which is $14,682.68. And we can anticipate the second half later in the year, or really like April, and it'll be in about the same amount. So part of state aid is also we get money back for every non-Littleton resident, and part of that was like an extra 1,000 just for Westford patrons. So it's actually a little higher this year because of Westford patrons coming. I'm going to skip that for now because I'm going to go back over that. We closed early at 4 p.m. on December 2nd due to the snowstorm. We held an all-staff meeting on Tuesday, December 9th. We discussed winter reading program, community read, and we also talked about meeting rooms. So, and then the new coffee machine was also installed. So first, meeting rooms. So dance groups have been taking over our lives here, and they've been propping open the doors. At the staff meeting, we discussed that they've also damaged some stuff. I guess they leave the mess that Megan cleans up that I didn't know about. Sometimes they put stuff on the walls. So I basically made an executive decision at the department head meeting, no more dance groups. So basically all dance groups that have already been approved in ASPET are okay, but any new ones, no more. And then we also discussed how we should basically allow groups to book meeting rooms. So Mike suggested that we create a form beyond ASPET, just like a physical form that patrons have to fill out, and then he would be the final approver. So all meeting room reservations go through him. We might be able to expand it. What do you think of ASPET? People can sign on ASPET and then you just improve it in ASPET.
Is that what they do now? It's sort of, the idea is to sort of not make it more difficult, but to sort of see where the people are coming from, so we can see.
Yeah.
One dance association is taking up all of the space, basically.
Yeah, we've had so many. The problem is in ASPET, there's so many groups that if we block one group, they can just sign up under a different name anyway. So I'm gonna leave it to Mike. He's meaner than me, so he can stop them. And it also takes the burden off the staff of having to deal with them. So, but we need you guys to work on the meeting room policy to kind of change that. So we do have a form that Mike used at other libraries, right?
Yeah, this is how we did it when I worked at Leominster, basically.
Yeah. So it's like a meeting room form. They just named the group, and then all these would go to Mike, and then he
You do it each time you do a request.
And that way, it'll be an easier way to keep track of how many requests they have in, because I think according to the policy, they can only have, is it 2 a month or whatever the policy is. They can't have like
2 every single day.
right. So they can't have it. So that's just a way of keeping track of it rather than ASPET track of it. But, just ask that I look at the human aspect of it. They're just taking the raw data, and if you have a different email address or library card, it might not necessarily put two and two together. So that's sort of the idea behind it.
Would this be something that they fill out online and then you get an email with it, or are you actually expecting a physical copy, which would mean someone has to come in here and do it?
Both. I looked into making it like a fillable form, so they can fill it out and email it to me, or they can drop it off. You have them, at the cert desk for them to hand out to.
This is just for the larger meeting rooms?
Yeah, not for the study rooms. The study room just go on like. This is just for the Sturts room and the party room.
I think
So could they still reserve on Assabet and then follow up with this, or are you expecting this? And
We
then
would take-
You're taking Assabet completely out of it.
Yeah.
So the policy right now just says meeting rooms. Any meeting or quiet study room must fill out a room reservation form, so we just have to change the language. Quiet study room, we would link to the current form, and the meeting room, we would link to the new form, right?
You could do it that way. Yeah.
How long do you anticipate this process for, and what happens if you're on vacation? Like how far in advance are groups?
Well, that's the other thing. There's a policy that they have to wait. They can't submit more than 90 days ahead. So,
how close.
But how close to that?
If it
Like
was like the
they're,
day before and you're on vacation, then what happens?
oh,
I would just go to me.
yeah.
And then. We're just playing out the ideas, right? Like,
Yeah.
just trying to hit one thing is that, when it's on Aspen, it has that pretty little picture and the thing, it says the capacity and everything like that. Like, I worry a little bit about it kind of becoming a little slightly less professional by having it go to kind of a regular form. That's not my biggest problem. Also, maybe the link on Aspen could go to this form instead. I just think it's nice to, like, it also on Aspen, it has the calendar of what's available
I think
when.
that's the piece. I think I know as a user of the room and using it for my Girl Scout troop, it's like, I literally go on, I'm like, oh, all those are taken. Let me look for another room in town. So like losing the calendar aspect of it it's gonna
Well, here you
cause
can
you
still,
some.
you can still use the calendar. Like you could look and see if anything is in that room.
If you keep that updated based on the forms you get.
Well, I would still have to put it into the calendar. I would be
You're
able to put it in
entering
the
that
calendar.
Yeah.
So if it's there, then it's booked, and if it's not there, could it be free?
But is that something like, would you be doing that? Like every morning you would do all of them? You know what I'm saying? Like so that it's as up to date like this, like it is now. You know?
Right. I think it depends on.
Well, it's still, the way it works now, someone still has to approve it.
Yeah, and when you
Okay,
send it
yeah.
in, it
Yeah.
says it's pending,
Yeah,
and then you get
yeah.
an email back saying.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, so the people
That
still have to
works.
wait anyway.
You can't book more than 60 days in advance, and no group may book a meeting room more than 2 times in a month without permission. That per the current policy. So.
Yeah, the problem is people are taking advantage of that. That's what we're trying to take.
Right.
We know. Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, I really do appreciate that there be a manual step making sure that that kind of thing isn't happening.
Right.
And I'm not the one using it, which is why Katrina, I kind of want, really, because you do this, you use this.
Yeah, no, I
So
definitely
make sure
use it, and I know
you're-
there are other Girl Scout troops or individual entities, so like our group representative is actually troop level, not Girl Scouts, and so only Girl Scouts, only 2 troops use it in the month, so like there is. Like
That's the kind of exception that you would need to know about, right?
but is it, yeah, or do you
No,
just say
no.
only 2 troops, like that's the decision we have to make to say, okay, only two Girl Scout troops can use meeting rooms over the course of a month. Regardless of what troop they're in, or is it any individual group which has a different title, we each have a troop number, like that makes us an individual group. Different bank accounts, all the things.
Which I think that having your group being able to do it twice makes sense to me personally, but you would need to know that this, right, like as the person manually reviewing, that's.
How does that break down for like a dance group or something?
Well, we're
You
not-
said no dance groups, but like other groups who are structured.
So with other groups, it's not as, the dance groups is our biggest issue
Okay.
because they're coming from all over. Even like we had someone from Nashville call us and ask if they used her. So I think once
The word has gotten out.
word has got
It's
out,
available.
right? So something else we were all discussing also is like maybe we should start like giving priority to Littleton first. Yeah, and then that was for programming.
It was. I was gonna not mention that ever again, since we talked about it, I said my thing, but yeah.
Yeah,
You have to have a library card to book the room, so how?
yeah, but people still. Did we say MVLC library card or Littleton library card?
Oh.
MVLC.
could be
But
on the
even
network.
Nashua,
I
that's
think
not
we said-
MBLC, like how would they get, how would?
Oh, yeah, we didn't tell them they could use it.
Right, but I'm saying like they,
You can get a library card.
The thing is, we're getting phone calls from. That's what
Oh,
I'm saying,
right.
is that we're getting
Okay.
people are asking.
it just says a library card accepted by RHL reservation system, so I don't
Which
know.
is-
All of us.
That must be on.
All
And that can mean anyone, because anyone could go get an MPLC card.
Right.
In the state.
So Sam, maybe what you and the staff can do is take, see and point out where propose the changes that you think should be made to it.
I think Mike already did that, but I'll send it out to the committee.
Mhm.
And then have the committee review and
Yeah.
maybe we can all look at it from a user perspective too. I'm not against creating barriers to use of the rooms that slows down and makes people think about how they're using the room and that they're being held accountable to the state of the rooms that they give them. And gives you guys something to point to if it's been misused. And we say that you can say that you can't use the room again because there are reasons why seniors would maybe use that privilege. So I think,
Yeah, because there's two pieces here, I agree with that, like, let's make sure the staff has input, right?
I mean, if
And
the
then-
staff are upset or needing changes, we should
Yeah,
totally address what the staff's concerned about. And I appreciate that there's a process that's been proposed. It's a one way. I think as a user, I can also see it being like, it's a sharp change and I think it needs to be communicated well to all the groups who are currently using them about why the policy is changing.
I mean, I imagine this be like a rollout, not a hard line. Sort of like, hey, in, I don't know, March
Any new
or.
reservations starting when the policy changes or whatever.
Yeah.
But
in terms of the dance groups, so just, are there any First Amendment issues here? If anybody's gonna, and especially because we're talking about specifically mostly Indian dance groups,
Yeah,
right?
I thought that's
And
one of the reasons I was so like
Right. And
hesitant.
it's like, there was a group of like 5 dancers who wanted to come in and
Yeah.
practice, like, are we saying no dancing troops at all?
So I did that today. So there was a group that I spoke to today that was the first group. And I explained to them that they're not, I understand that it's not you, but it's the building's being damaged. It's a security issue when on Sundays the library is not open and they're leaving the doors wide open. And so she understood and she, like, every time I talk to them, they all apologize. It's just, they can't keep track of everybody that's in, because it's not them.
Yeah.
It's their partners or their kids that they're bringing with them that are hanging out in the gallery and they get bored because they have nothing to do because their family members are dancing in the storage room. And so they go and they wander and they start making mischief. And, so,
I mean, I've witnessed something.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
get stop it, but like.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Being like, you're disrupting our meeting and also you're gonna break.
yeah. So technically I have the ability to deny whoever I want. So,
And I think that falls under the policy for disruptions and.
yes.
but there's some groups that probably aren't disrupting, and so I could see them saying, like, but that wasn't. So I guess I'd want to just check with the lawyer to make sure.
I can ask town council.
Especially because if you're saying, if it's like no Indian dancing,
Yeah,
I
I'm
know you're
not saying that.
but that's what's happening, right?
Yeah.
That you could look at that. So
Right now, what I've been doing is there were groups that were like 30 people, but there was another group that was like 8 people. So I let the 8 people group come in because if it's
where are we getting?
Yeah,
It's
Ricky, I know.
We need to
You're gonna
say.
get yourself in a.
I know.
That's where.
Yeah, I know.
So if you would
I know.
talk to the lawyer.
Yeah, I can talk to
make
town
sure.
council.
Yeah, thank you.
Would, is there an important difference between after hours and when the library is being staffed?
I mean, yeah, I think it probably slows down, but they're like, if there's like a half hour, they're trying to book it. They're like anytime they can get. So, yeah, I don't think makes a difference. Yeah. Yeah, but I'll ask town council. Yeah. Any other questions about that part?
Well, I mean, I think also like giving priority to like Littleton, people with a Littleton library card would also help cut down, because I think sometimes there are probably groups in Littleton that want to book a room and it's already booked by another group. So if we start giving priority to Littleton, it would lessen the availability for these other groups. I mean, I completely understand that we have to find, we don't want people to think we're discriminating. And,
As I said about the program thing, was just a different thing, but I do think that,
right.
like there's a thing, I don't know how this would work with meeting rooms, it's a different story, but like for the first week, it's Littleton, right? Or until this date, it's Littleton. That doesn't apply to meeting rooms, but I think it's probably okay, but I don't think that programming. For programming, I think it's okay. For meeting rooms, I'm not sure.
And
I don't know.
functions.
Well, it wouldn't be the same way, but whether or not it can be like somehow prioritized for those groups. Yeah, I don't know how to do that. But
Well, and regardless,
Appreciate
like the type of activity is something that we have control over deciding about the use of space. So, I know that my own child has borrowed the Starts room to practice choreo with friends for various drama things. Very small number of them, but again, with an adult supervision, given they're under 18. But again, that's an activity that we're saying is no longer permitted here. Then that they have to look at it. So.
and if it solves the problem that we're having, okay. I think, but there is that one, right?
Yeah.
I think you have to blanket apply it across the board and allow exceptions.
Yeah.
Is the hard part.
Interesting.
Right. So the other thing is,
Oh, that wasn't it, Sam?
no. So, the town is facing a deficit of $2.2 million. And, we were also informed that insurance costs are going up. Originally, they thought it was going to be 19%, and now they're being told it might be 29%. Yes. I think we all know why. So basically, Robin, the finance director, sent out an email like 2 days ago asking all departments to take a look at their budgets again for next year and see where they can make cuts. She didn't give a specific number. She didn't say a specific percentage. She just said, take a look, see what you can do. But she also said, if we don't, or if I don't hear from anyone, then I'm going to start telling you how much to take, including cuts to staff, positions, or hours. So I took a look at our budget and let's make this. All right. So one thing I took a look at was wages for overtime. So every year I've asked for money. So this is, yes. So every year, so this is the past fiscal year. So this is how much I asked for this year, last year. As you can see, I asked for an FY24 740.35. Didn't use any of it. Didn't use any of it last year. Gave it back. Same thing probably going to happen this year. So I eliminated it from next year's because I haven't been using it. So that's $7,000 right there that I can cut. Other thing, cut down on office supplies, processing supplies, travel. If I look at travel, I ask for $500 every year. I use like 100 maybe, because especially since the trustees gave us money, so don't really use that. So cut that. Postage. It's like stamps that we use. We can take that from wherever. And processing supplies and office supplies, we do use all of that usually every year, but I can take that from state aid. Then for books, I did cut that down. So I was concerned about the MAR. So I took a look at So if you take a look, every year I always ask for the town money to cover the MAR basically, but there are other things that also count towards the MAR. So like the money that the friends give us for museum passes, that counts. The MVLC e-content. So last year I actually had to spend to reach state aid compliance 142,000, but what I actually spent was 199,000 when you count friends money and e-content and all that other stuff. So there was a buffer. So I cut down what I asked for and I figure out what the MAR is. So this is the MAR calculation. So the way you figure out the MAR is you take the last 3 fiscal years, you add them up, you divide by 3, and then this is the number that you have to get to. So this is what with my cuts. So as you can see, I really need 929,000 and change, but I'm asking for 951. So that's okay. And then to spend for materials, I'm asking for 135,000, but e-content, I'm asking for 13,000, and the friends usually give us 10,000. So that gets me 158. I need 157 to be fully certified.
So the friends just approved 7,000. Is that going to make a difference?
No, they actually give us more. We ask them multiple times throughout the year. It's
Just making sure.
yeah. So
The risk is it's next fiscal year, so as long as friends can continue to contribute
Right.
their portion that Sam relies on.
Yeah.
Then this calculation works. If they, for some reason, lose all their money, this no longer works. From
Right.
that support
Yes,
line that
in that line.
he's relying on.
Right.
So altogether, when you take the expenses that I cut, payroll, that's 26,000 I removed from that.
Percentage of that.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your total budget?
The total budget is 951,000.
But what was,
It was 977 before 951.
Yeah, so it's around 3%.
Yeah, 3%.
So this is what I'm thinking of asking or giving. Hopefully she doesn't ask for more. If she asks for more, so from the state perspective, I can spend 90% of the MAR and still be certified. Problem is you don't get the full state aid. They take like a certain percentage. I think it's like 10%, 12%, something like that. And so for 90%, I would have to have 141,000 spent on materials. But so this is to keep us certified, doesn't touch staff. But I don't know what the other departments are going to do. So this is what I was planning to give to Robin. This is due by tomorrow by 11, by the way.
Plan does or does not touch state aid that we currently.
So yeah, that's where I would get the money for the other expense, the office supplies, processing supplies. I would either take it from state aid, which we have like 30,000. That's usually how much we have every year. So it's only it's only 4150.
And like for what we kind of do in our budget, your budget from us every year too, if that needs to be moved,
Right.
that's something we can.
Right. Yeah, it's really not that much technically, but yeah. So
the tightest piece of it is the 158,000 thing.
yes.
Meeting the Mars key.
Yeah.
And I do, just to remind everyone that Sam came to us at the last meeting and said he actually is already under budget.
Yeah, I was like
for this
3,000
fiscal year,
underspend.
thanks to retirements and
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And the MVLC fee or whatever.
Yeah, it was 3,000 in the other budget that I gave last time. Now it's 29,000.
Yeah.
It's a 3.4%.
So it's already lower.
Yeah, it was already lower before.
I do think you should lead with that. I already have a lower budget and now I'm taking more out of it.
Yeah, they were very happy with me the last time I got.
So just FYI, it's not 3%, it's 3% from an already reduced place.
Yeah.
So I think you have to be very
It's like
clear.
another 3%.
Yeah, so we're like 6%.
Yeah.
10%.
It's not really, it's like 5%.
All right. So
But I think that's a reminder that perhaps like you've already adjusted down and we're adjusting down again. So like we're showing that we're
is this something that you are presenting that you need somebody that you like somebody?
No, this is an email that I'm sending you, Robin, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Informing.
All right,
Yeah.
I just wanted, like, if you needed us for anything, we're here.
No, they haven't told us yet when we're meeting or anything like
Okay.
that. And they're not meeting here anymore. They wanted to meet here, but the days they've changed, the select board changed the dates. So they weren't available. So now they're meeting somewhere else. Yeah. So I don't know where they're meeting. Well, I know where they're meeting. I just don't know when.
So the other useful thing is your 135,000 is like a hard line.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
give them more from that.
Right.
And that, I mean, in a way, it's good to just say, really, all that without jeopardizing.
Being certified as a library.
Yeah.
All right, Sam.
All right. Yeah.
Thanks for doing all that work.
Yeah. All right.
And then just keeping in mind that any changes we do now are likely carried forward.
Yeah. And that's
The
another thing.
sustainability of this obviously
Yeah.
in future years matters.
Yeah. That's why I need them to give me at least that, because then I'm relying on the state aid
Right.
moving forward.
When we get around to the time when you do your evaluation, make sure you include this kind of this is not in your goals. It's like, this is work that is important. That's what it is.
All right. That's it for my report.
Okay. Old business.
Consultant. So I returned the agreement. Thank you for signing it. Barbara says she wants to start in February because she wants to wait till after so I haven't really talked to her, to be honest, because of the holidays, but we're planning to start in February, basically. That's the only update.
That's
Okay.
that's the whole thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Ray Grande, we have a change to the committee, so we should update that. I was gonna say, so David is going to, because Chris is gonna be on it this year, so David's gonna postpone his time on it. And so we think we should vote to have Chris be added. I don't think we need to vote to have you off, right? Can you just like?
That's a problem. I don't need to.
No,
I didn't understand.
Just
Okay.
voting.
You weren't present
I
at that
wasn't
meeting.
here, so
So-
So we were like, we
They
don't
wanted to
know.
populate the committee, so I said, well, I can do
okay,
it.
but I don't want to take it like away from.
It's okay.
No.
If you want to do it, so.
I do
Great.
enough committees.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I'm not like taking it like because I've done it many years. I don't feel like I.
Who's
Do it.
specifically again, Chris,
Me.
So Chris,
Steph, and
Yeah. Do we have to vote to take someone off the committee or just to add to the committee?
well, like, you could just vote to have
just
it
read-
be these three names.
Okay, all right, we'll do that.
I
Okay.
move
A
that
fresh
the Ray
vote.
Grande Scholarship Committee be comprised of Kimberly, Steph, and Chris.
I second.
All in favor?
I
Great. I have been meeting, now that we have the names, I have been meeting, it's very nice to do this. Every day I reach out and find the time to do it, and it just keeps on getting pushed. So, I expect we'll meet in early January for our first meeting. That seems like enough time after the holidays, so I'll reach out with some dates. Update there. Anyone have any questions about that? Okay, new business. Policy review. Sarah, you're up.
Yes. So we made some changes to the trustee code of conduct, and hopefully I shared permission with everyone, so hopefully everyone will be able to see it. And we tracked our changes, and a lot of it is just like, for changes. We did, at the very bottom, you will see, like, below the approved date is a lot of language that I pulled from the Board of Selectmen code of conduct, so that will all go away. That was just as a placeholder to see what language we might want to incorporate. So once we approve these changes, all that language will go away. That was just there as like ideas. So you can see, the word changes we made, and then some things got merged together because they made sense to go together. So I don't know if you have any questions or comments. Or if you just want to go through changes one by one. It was approved. We created this in 2024, and then we said we should review it annually, so we're reviewing it.
Thanks for that reminder. Plus, we have a new board. So David, I don't know if you know the history behind it. The select board a few years ago, after some contentious years, decided to vote on to create a code of conduct about how they should be interacting with each other and also, so that's where this is stemming from. And from that process, they requested that every board consider adopting a version of their own. Many boards just took theirs and put their own board name on it, but trustees decided to, given the laws and obligations that we fall under, that we should tailor it to our responsibilities, which is why this has come about, just as a reminder of the history of this.
A lot of work on this, I appreciate it.
So is it, it's in the spirit of intention as opposed to
Should have said must.
contract?
Yes.
So we talked about that.
How
We
we
met,
want to be together.
we met earlier and just to review it. And so sometimes it does say should, but sometimes where it says must, we feel like it
Yeah.
is appropriate. But where it was more,
And instead of must, should we, in those cases, be using shall, which is the legally strong term?
Yeah.
In that case, like the trustees must comply, should we be using shall comply with the laws? Rules and regulations that apply to them in the library.
we thought must sounded stronger, but if you think shall is stronger. then-
Shall is the legally
Okay.
binding word.
I will show.
In some places you change shall to should, which means you're making it a recommendation.
Yeah. So I think we just need to make sure that where we think this is a requirement, we should be using shall.
So is everyone okay if we start from the top?
Yes, I think there's so many edits on
Yeah.
some of these things repeat and some weren't crossed off before, but now are, so.
Do you want me to track the changes? Or do you want to track the changes? I can do it.
Oh, no, I can actually. Yeah.
Do you want to do it? So the first change would be the first paragraph is just changing who to in concert with the staff to make patron service the continuing priority instead of who.
Yes.
Is that okay?
It means you're sharing it with
Mhm.
them
Yeah.
instead of assigning it to them. That's not responsibility.
That is true.
It's a collective responsibility.
And then taking out public library and just saying trustees are accountable for the resources.
Because we already said board of trustees earlier.
Okay.
It sounds like for this part, we're like, rules at this point and not the board is collective. Whereas the paragraph above is talking about the board is collective.
And then ensuring the library provides the best possible service to its community instead of our community.
Mhm.
Okay, and then the following code of conduct, though by no means an exhaustive list, it just says exhaustive, identifies key obligations. And then we are proposing to take out trustees shall respect the opinions of colleagues and not be critical or disrespectful. And we just changed it,
I think that's one of those things that was absorbed into something
Right.
It
later.
looks like it's in
Yeah,
the second.
yeah, so
Okay.
like we're taking out redundant language.
So again, the difference being the one that's from the select board, they're using shall. That's where that first bullet came from.
Right.
And then we've taken it and softened it to say should. In the second.
In the second bullet.
And is that how we would like to?
I think so. We're gonna try real hard, right?
We felt like should was softer here.
Yeah.
And I mean, the committee felt that should is the appropriate word here, but if you feel we should.
No, I'm agreeing.
Okay, sorry.
Let's say yes, right?
Yeah, and the capitalization. It just. And then again, trustees shall comply with all the laws. That's just redundant. So we're,
So you have that in the first bullet now.
It's elsewhere.
yeah.
So
And trustees in fulfilling their responsibilities should not be swayed by partisan interests. We're suggesting should instead of shall, but
I'm going down to the select board, it's just refreshing. They actually count, but written shoulds and shalls. Really well-intentioned reminders.
I mean, I feel like should, that's what should does, because we are humans.
right,
Yeah, right, that's, yeah, we were kind of debating back and forth.
Right.
Like,
There's no repercussions for somebody.
The laws make sense.
The law or shall
Yeah.
is a
And you know, the other thing is you're not always conscious of your
Right.
ideology and commitments.
Mhm.
They just it has to be called to your attention sometimes. So
Yeah.
shall not engage in discrimination.
Yeah.
That needs to be.
That's that too.
Yeah, I think so. We're going back to shall.
Shall.
Must.
No, we're
Shall.
shall.
It's gonna appear in
Shall.
okay, so that's gonna be. What?
Right.
well, it's not instead anymore either.
Right, I was gonna say, makes
So-
sense.
yes,
That'd be
That
should,
is a
that
should.
should be should, right?
yes.
Yeah. Right. There you're expressive view.
The next one is shall because that is a legal issue.
Yeah, no, the confidential nature of the
Yeah.
business is a shall, and it's outlined in our policies. I'm not sure about that.
And then shouldn't be trustees shall respect the confidential
Yes.
nature.
Yep.
Mhm.
I'll be right back.
It's a must.
I think that's also part of the library bill of rights and things like that,
Yeah.
so I think
Yeah.
that falls under a shall.
Am I accepting that or the one with,
Accept it first and then change it to
And then
shall.
yeah, right, okay.
Okay, the bullets combined.
I was
They-
just confusing me, but the.
Well, it was like two thoughts in one bullet
Yeah.
before that were not connected, actually, so. Yeah, there.
Entering.
Excuse me, I just got one.
Of course.
Oh, sure. Did I do that right? Sorry.
They're separate thoughts.
So next one should be a should instead of a must.
Agree.
Trustees should distinguish clearly in their actions.
What do you think?
Yes.
Yes. Are you okay with the other changes in that paragraph regardless of whether they personally agree?
Yes. The next two are repeats from the
Yes,
three word,
right.
yeah.
That, taking that line out?
Yes,
Yeah.
taking those next two, Alyssa out.
The next one is our conflict of interest.
Yeah.
You have to.
Right.
So we sign it here.
Yeah.
So that should be a shall.
Yes. Right. I mean, must actually works well for that one.
Yeah.
Why they go this conflict.
That should-
Like
should-
disclosure.
You're saying that
all of them.
must should stay?
I mean, for
You can make it
people shall. It still means the same thing. It's just,
Yeah.
you're right from the, like, you must do it, but it's from the straight.
Yes.
perspective. Legally shall is. Yeah.
I would argue on the bullet of trustees should not interfere with management responsibilities, like we really shall not interfere with that's a line we've been trying to reinforce, so stronger language.
So do you want shall system?
For the trustees.
For the-
Interfering with management.
Shall not interfere with management responsibilities. It's a nice bullet, yeah.
That protects our director
Right.
And the
and the level as a
delineation
whole.
of responsibilities.
Yeah.
And I think, and to be honest, that actually harks back to the select board's reason for
That's right.
starting this in the first place. Like that was a main reason why they started that, because
Micromanage.
select board members started interfering directly with
Right.
Going to.
town
Right.
employees below the
Shouldn't
town
be.
administrator. So
Strategy should conduct the business in
we shall conduct business
Yeah.
in public manner.
So shall not should.
Yeah. That's good.
Sorry.
I can find it.
Thank goodness for undo.
Mhm.
I like shall for the last
I
one
take the
too.
shall on the last bullet as well.
That is kind of our responsibility.
Someone had a comment?
Sarah.
The comment went away.
I gotcha.
And all this stuff at the bottom.
Yeah, you can delete all of that. Everything below the date of the approved date is, can be deleted. And then if you can just, we haven't.
And then, because I don't know how this worked with the select board, but should we each be signing this in addition to our conflict of interest when we get elected? And on what schedule do we sign this fall, Chris?
We should probably be reviewing and
I think
signing this upon the first meeting after the election. However, we didn't do that this year, so it could be that we,
But I think if you get every trustees do it. So if your review is every 12 months
yeah.
or less, then
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like we can review it now so that we're up to
Yeah.
date, but then perhaps in our schedule of activities, we do that in the first meeting in May after the election. So that way we're starting each fresh year.
I will add that to the calendar.
So should we change the approval?
Oh, yeah, we should vote to approve it.
Right, but no, I'm saying, should we change the approval timeline so it's closer to when we're signing it, or should we still just keep review it in December and then we sign in May?
no, our vote. We can go on record approving it in December. And then we could say
We just
our
need to sign it.
our
in May.
intention is, well, we could sign it at any time
Right now, but
with the new.
I think it's
Word.
okay to do it within 6 months
Okay.
from this
All
one,
right.
and we'll just change it every time that.
But then your sort of intentional review date. will be June.
I just added that to the calendar for April 26th.
Okay.
Make sure we do. She forgot to.
Then you'll be on
Slipper.
cycle.
Yeah, I think we're just not on a pattern yet where we're doing it, and it will become.
Yeah, so let's we can vote to approve it now.
okay.
And then we can, and then I just put it in the calendar for us to all to do and at our meeting in 6 months. Yeah.
Okay, I move to approve the Reuben Horror Library trustee code of conduct policy.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you.
I can change the approved date from the 11th.
That was a lot of work.
Yeah, can you select that?
Thank you.
Mini golf liquor license.
Sure. So do you want to do it or do you want me?
We've done
All right.
this. We've done this.
Or show what it actually is.
As you know, that every year the Friends ask us to approve a liquor license for Digital to come during library mini golf. They're doing the same thing again this year, in March. So they've asked us to approve it so that they can then go to the select board and get their. So that's it.
Any questions?
No.
Are they using Dirigible?
Yes.
Ongoing?
Yes, Sarah talked to Dirigible and Dirigible said they would be able to do it.
And are they getting event insurance?
Yes. And the only other thing would have been the detail, but last year
Police detail.
they said no, we didn't need it because
Do we need to ask again?
we're not that wild. But
think we can ask.
I usually do ask.
Well, it's part of the liquor.
Yeah, I usually ask the deputy chief and he usually says yes.
No, it's definitely part of that process.
Yeah, so just ask again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely.
So you want me to make a motion?
Go for it.
I move that that trustees approve the application for the liquor license
Do we need to say a date or for the event?
For
for the mini golf event
for like, yeah, for George.
and
Specifically
for
for the.
George. Yeah.
Want to try one more time?
I know. That's too many ends. Move that the trustees approve the application for dirigible to receive a liquor license for the mini golf event. What were those dates? 2026.
Yes. Great.
I second.
All in favor?
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Sam, thank you for so much. I had mentioned to Sam that he is 100% staying on top of his goals for the year. And this month was volunteer handbook and a one-pager about the library.
Yeah, so I created a volunteer handbook to give to volunteers, senior volunteers, and the Ray Grandy Scholarship kids. Basically, it starts with a little introduction for me, saying thank you for volunteering, a disclaimer. Then it goes on to talk about the library, our mission. So this is from our last strategic plan. So I don't know if that's going to change soon, but this is what we had previously. Then important contacts of me, Tracy, Susan, and Mike were the main people any volunteer usually talks to, unless they're working for the children's room. But usually the questions like hours and procedures go through one of us. And then there are too many policies, so I just created a link to tell them where to go. And then volunteer policies talked about how we choose them based on their qualifications, that they should be, attendance should be, pretty good, that if they miss any days or are late, then that would be grounds for us to release them from volunteer. Background check. So any adult has to go through a query check. So we usually handle that. Usually I give their names to HR and then HR gives them the application and then the application goes to the police department. It's usually done in like a day or two. Yep. And then canceled events or tasks, talks about, whether they're sick or whether, that of course it's okay for them to miss, but, just don't make it a habit. Cell phone use, limited of cell phone use, don't do drugs or alcohol. Emergency procedures, if there's an issue, to talk to a staff member. Basically, don't try to do anything yourself, unless it's a big emergency. If you discover a fire, help close the doors. Let a staff member know, pull the fire alarm, all that good stuff. Same thing with lockdowns. If there's a shooter or something, and don't give meds to anybody. Hurricane tornado warning, took it from our disaster plan to meet down here. Same thing with emergency situations, reported to a staff member as soon as possible. Personal appearance, there's not a strict dress code, but don't wear anything too crazy, basically. Something acceptable. Safety, your safety matters. If anyone or anything makes you feel unsafe, let someone know, either myself or another staff member. Smoking, no smoking, service hours. So every person that does volunteer hours usually has to get some kind of form filled out and signed off on. So it talks about what the procedure is for that. Types. So there are different types: adult volunteers, senior tax work-off, student volunteers, and Ray Grandy Scholarship recipients. And then this talks about the types of things they might be asked to do: arts and crafts programs, clerical work, marketing, gardening, outdoor help, program help, seed library. Okay. And then it says that we have the right to terminate their volunteer experience, basically. So, any questions?
Not about that, but just in general, do you ever do fire drills or Alice training or anything like that?
We've done Alice training. We haven't done a fire drill in a while. I think when the fire department came to do the CPR training, I had them do a fire drill, but that's good.
Staff since then.
Yeah. We were talking about that at the department head meeting, how some of them need to get CPR trained. Probably some other staff I could probably use a refresh. So yeah,
2 years.
we talked about doing that in a future meeting.
Does the library have an AED?
We do have one upstairs, and we have the box down here. They're supposed to get it for us, but George has been, so they have to go through the fire department to get it, and he keeps asking them. So I wouldn't mind George to, but we do have one upstairs.
This is just a formatting thing. That on the seventh page, it says walk down procedure external event, and then procedure for ill or injured person is indented and it should be out.
Yeah, there are a few reorganizations of like sections that I might recommend, but I mean, I think that content is all what I would hope would be in a guide, so that's good.
All right. Page.
Like when I thought drugs and alcohol, and then later in the documents. Maybe
Oh, I got that too.
well, and there's some like, I mean, I can get you my feedback, Sam.
Yeah.
They're not adopted, but there's some like sections I feel like should be front and center, and then the type of volunteering maybe should come earlier. In the
That's what I was
and
thinking.
then all of the like
Interior.
emergency procedures and
Yeah.
everything later.
All right.
Let's welcome people first, make them feel good, and then get to the.
So there's a few, but again, when I went through it, I
Yeah.
think the content is here that I would, as a volunteer, I would want to know. So I think
Okay.
in terms of content, it's great and helpful.
You send me your notes. So
Yeah.
make the changes. All
Thank you, Sam.
right. Then the other thing was that one pager, which actually is not in my friends.
No.
Nope, it wasn't in there, but I made it anyway. So
Where did we talk about the one pager?
So I did remember talking about it,
We-
but we talked about it in a meeting, but it was not in my review. But it's okay, whatever.
Well, thanks, Sam.
Yep.
I think it was in the context of talking to the woman that was gonna do teaching.
Yeah, before that too. I have it. I have one pager with library awesomeness, graphic stats bullets with Katrina. That's what I have written down for December.
Well, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so anyway, so we had in the past year we've had 81,255 visitors, 214 circ transactions, 7,500 program attendees.
Is the certain transactions like physical materials?
Yes.
So not including electronic.
No, it does include.
Okay.
It doesn't.
Yeah, it does. Market value of ebooks. So MVLC actually sent us something to help because of their increase. So that's where I got this from. So market value of ebooks borrowed is 607,000 just for us.
So it's kind of like how much money we've saved not purchasing hard copies of books is what we're saying.
No, this is the ebooks.
Just
Yeah.
the ebook.
Just
Right.
ebooks.
The
Yeah.
ebook says save that much.
That's what we're saying there?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've had seven.
You purchase it
Yes.
Yeah.
as a community.
7,000 reference questions, and for every $1 spent, you say we get $33.
That's just in 2025.
Yep.
Well, it's a pretty impressive thing.
Yep.
$1 spent as in tax money?
Yep.
Okay. So the one thing that like I like the bullet points, the talking points are good. The market value of ebooks borrowed is one thing, but like what about the physical?
Yeah, I have to figure that out.
It's like that's if I
You can do
recall
that, that'd be
correctly,
amazing,
that's
too.
a calculation you have to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. So those are,
That would be the only other thing, because then I think the true value of what the
So
library provides
Mhm.
is missing a large chunk.
Because that's, and it's like when we come around to budget time, right? We're like, okay, well, we're asking for this, but we're saving. Yeah.
Or like public is
The public is, yeah.
I can add that.
I like it.
Thank you.
well, and I think some of that $33 includes programming it too. No,
No.
so that's just materials.
so try it out on the select board.
The return on investment is very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just slide that in with your budget submission.
I'll bring it to my my
Perfect time.
Have it attach it.
Yeah, they do it Congress. You know, they have
Yeah.
those big.
Yeah.
Yeah, Just put it on a t-shirt and when you deliver.
You can cricket this overnight, right?
Yeah,
We
sure.
can press it. We can do it there.
It's in our library of
And
things.
then we can check it out again.
Okay.
Yeah, I think just if there's a way to monetize the value for the physical items too, that would be.
Well,
Wait,
library of
has
things,
a reference
that's,
question?
that's another value.
What is,
Library of things.
Thanks.
absolutely, yeah,
Has been very useful.
yeah, a library of things, and then where, whether, yes. And then reference questions asked, is that how many were answered also? Or so maybe I'd say reference questions answered. Instead of asked.
Oh, yeah.
Or ask and-
Give it a culmination. I
Like
love that many open.
how many, 6,000 were like, I don't know. Like, it's a thousand.
699.
Handle.
Candles. Oh, I like it.
That's good, Sam.
All right.
It's good. It's good.
Thank you.
And then in terms of we have this now, how do you plan to use it?
I was gonna share it in the newsletter, bring it to those, I actually was gonna bring it to the
Great,
meeting.
do it, even if it's not final, like,
Yeah,
this
This
is,
is great.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you ever ask for anything at town meeting, you can have a couple, like some copies there,
It's good.
yeah.
I think just even having some around the library.
This was something they suggested at the,
Yeah.
which is the one that we went
The
to.
trustee.
The
MLC.
trustee one last
Yeah,
year,
right.
they said have something like
Right.
this, so, yeah.
MLTA.
Yes, MLTA. Thanks, Sam.
Too many acts.
Do we have any other business? You're going to leave on.
I'm going to the legislative breakfast tomorrow in Lancaster, but I have to schedule all the ones that
And
have
then
been
all on Friday
scheduled.
mornings.
Often. Fridays are
Because
Mondays.
that's the best, they said at the,
That's
I'm
what
sure.
legislators
Can't
are-
believe it, I
they're
just can't
usually
make it to any of
Thursdays and
them.
Fridays because that's
Yeah.
the day the
the best days
legislators
for
are
the
traveling.
legislators.
Yeah.
Back and forth. But anyway, I want to let you know Westboro is January 13 and Acton is January 30th. They're both close by. So this might be useful.
Oh, yeah. Mortis,
Yeah, it's either 8 AM or 8 AM.
When are they again?
Westboro is the 13th of January.
for Tuesday.
That's a Tuesday. And Acton is Friday, January 30th.
And do you spend it?
Yeah, there's an online.
Thank you for bringing that.
I'll remind you.
Yeah. Be sick that day.
Yeah.
Right. I was already sick twice last week. I feel like I can't be sick. Not genuinely sick too, not just pretending so I could go to a library. Any other business? MLS is back. The department, so hopefully it'll get funded again and MBLC can pick up the grants that I'm not sure. Mhm.
Well, yes, it's back and, they're voting on how much to fund it.
Yeah.
So,
At the
and I'll
moment,
reach out and,
yeah.
advocate.
Did see that we should, yeah. I did see MBLC is like there was something that said that they are picking up all the grants that they had put on hold. Is that in anticipation? There was an email about it last week.
Can I ask one question related to directors?
Yeah,
You mentioned community reads in your latest report.
Mhm.
Is there any details you can provide? The community read event?
Yeah, we're doing it in March and April. It's gonna be Braiding Sweetgrass. I already bought the books. They're upstairs. There is a Braiding Sweetgrass is the adult version. There's a young adult version of that book, and then there's a children's book that I can't remember the name of, but it's very similar. And so right now, staff and I are looking for programming opportunities. I did talk to the Neshoba. I'm going to try to get in contact with the Neshoba Indians, see if they can come and do something. I'm going to talk to Judith about from the Seed Library about doing something. Jennifer and Megan are working on like some kind of arts and crafts project that they can do. But yeah, we have the books. We're just working on the programming piece right now, figure that out.
And did you need funds for that?
No, we covered it already, so we're good.
if you do.
Yeah, I'll let you know. Braiding Sweetgrass.
Braiding.
Braiding sweet
Like braiding your
grass.
hair.
Braid, We had a museum, we had an indigenous person from somewhere, I think on the South Shore, she works at a museum, but she was amazing.
Okay, you
I can get her information and send it to you. She actually, like, she talked a lot about indigenous people and everything, but then she took us on a tour of like our like museum property and then the conservation land and pointed out all the edible plants that were
Wow.
there. That was like, yeah, I'll get you that information.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
There might be something in conjunction with Littleton Conservation Trust too.
Yeah, I was talking to Rob. Yeah, I was talking to Rob about it this earlier today.
Yeah, there's lots of places in town.
Okay.
Yeah. I had a same question too. What was it? I know. You had the staff meeting like a couple of months ago where somebody came in and asked the staff all sorts of questions and then you put together all their responses, their answers to things like culture and stuff like that. What are you planning on doing with that information?
So that's going to be part of the strategic question.
Okay, great. Any other trustee updates? I want to give yours. I used to be in the library every day and I've been with the new job. I'm here so rarely that Tracy had to send back books that I requested. It had been over a week. It took me over a week to get in here. Unusual.
I haven't been in the library physically in a while, but I constantly use Hoopla and Libby because I always have an audiobook on my phone. And so I really appreciate the ebooks because I don't make enough time to read a physical book. But I have I'm up to 115 books that I have read this year.
Yeah, nice job. Yeah, I'm gonna look at Goodreads and find out how many.
I mean, again, majority is audiobooks, but still, they count.
They count. That's still books. Okay, so our next meeting is January 8th at 6:30 p.m. And if no one has anything else, we can make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Right. Everyone? That's great. I don't know how many books I've read this year.